Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Javohir, and in this video, the writing portion of the IELTS test is going to be on our target. Well, in writing, there is no right or wrong answer. Marking is not as straightforward as it's in reading or listening portion of the test. There's only one reliable source where we can know how our papers or your essays are marked. These are band descriptors. So in writing task 1 band descriptor, task achievement section for band 9 says, fully satisfies all the requirements of the task and clearly presents a fully developed response. Not really clear, right? For band 7 it says, covers the requirements and presents key features but could be more fully extended. For band 6 it says, addresses the requirements and presents key features, but details may be irrelevant, inappropriate, or inaccurate. Let me now break down everything we read. So, first of all, the requirements of the task. If you get any kind of task 1 questions, you'll see this kind of requirement. So it says, summarize information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons very relevant. Write at least 150 words. Word count, pretty obvious. Selecting and reporting the main features. This is one of the most important and crucial parts of the whole task 1. It's just not easy to choose or select what to include and what to not include. It all comes with practice. The other aspect is making comparisons very relevant, and in order to make good comparisons, you should have very good analytical skills so that you can see the graph and see what you can compare. I don't know how to say that. Like, a good report consists of only key points and they are written in a compelling way. I just can't tell you how to select and summarize information. It is just difficult. Going back to band 9 descriptors, all I can say is that your answer should include the key points only, nothing of a secondary importance. Only the most important features. Plus, they must be fully extended, which means if you are telling that something rose, then tell how much it rose. Answer WH questions such as how much, what, and when. Nothing that is irrelevant, inappropriate, or inaccurate should be on your report. You might say that I can include all the key points. My report is going to be boring and intimidating. But that's the hint. That is why you need to select only the most important features. That way you can fully extend them and still you can reach the word count and make a compelling answer. Band 7 reads, logically organizes information and ideas and uses range of cohesive devices appropriately, although there may be some under or overuse. Band 6 says, cohesion within and between sentences may be faulty or mechanical. Again, let us break down. Basically, it asks you to divide information into paragraphs skillfully, which means sentences and info within the paragraph must be logically connected. That's the first requirement. The second one is that your answer must be natural and very easy to read. Again, it comes with practice. Your grammar and vocabulary hugely affects these criteria of the writing. If you want to amp up your coherence and cohesion score, work on your grammar and vocabulary so that it is close as much as possible to the native speakers. Something that is worth mentioning is that there must be some kind of a balance between the number of cohesive devices you use. For example, you can't use while and however all the time. You should find some kind of like a golden middle. Looking at the lexical resources, Band 9 says uses a wide range of vocabulary with very natural and sophisticated control of lexical features. Band 7 says may produce occasional errors in word choice, spelling, and word formation. In lexical resources section, we need to be very careful because it asks for both accuracy and wide range. It asks for precise words, and at the same time it asks for words that are not commonly used. Here, the learning process of vocabulary is crucial because you need to know precisely what every word you use means. On grammatical range and accuracy, it reads, uses a wide range of structures with full flexibility and accuracy. Rare minors occur only as slips. Let me first comment on slips. From my understanding, slips are kind of mistakes that native speakers normally do. For example, use the wrong article or miss one article. However, they occur once or maximum twice throughout the essay. Like, they're just careless mistakes. Band 7 reads, produces frequent error-free sentences and has a good control of grammar and punctuation, but may make a few errors. So, to get the highest score possible from this section, you need to strive for error-free sentences. Use the particular grammar only when you know exactly how to use it. And also, use wide range of structures. Play with structures, play with words, try to come up with different formation of the sentences, and just do some experimentation with that. Look for the structures that express your opinion, your information in the most effective way. Going to task 2, band descriptor, we can see that only task achievement of task 1 changes to task response. Very logical decision. And if you look at band 9 descriptors, you won't find any kind of noticeable difference except for task response, where it says fully developed position with relevant, fully extended and well-supported ideas. The main difference between task 1 and task 2 is that task 2 asks for your ideas and it wants to know your position on a particular topic, while task 1 just asks you to describe the graph. Let's dive deeper. Band 7 of task response says, address all parts of the question, clear position throughout the essay, tendency to overgeneralize, and supporting ideas may lack focus. If you look at band 6, it becomes clear why many people struggle from going to 6 to 7. It says, some parts may be more fully extended and conclusions may become unclear and repetitive. Main ideas may be unclear. Here we can see the main difference between band 7 and band 6, and people who get band 6 generally write unclear responses. It's difficult to understand what they think about the problem, and their conclusions are also unclear. They try to include both sides, they try to write some good stuff about each side, and they really can't choose one position, and that makes their writing bad. If you want your essay to be strong, your arguments must be strong. You need to make sure that the person who is reading your essay must clearly know your purpose, your opinion about a particular topic. You should make them believe in your opinion. That is very important. Another gap between 7 and 9 is the generalization. Your solution and your ideas must be specific. Don't go around the corners saying the same idea in different ways. Be specific with your examples and ideas. Also, don't forget to support them well. The one main aspect of coherence and cohesion in task 2 is that there is only one central idea. All ideas included should either support or extend that central idea. Everything else is the same with task 1. Other two criteria are entirely the same with task 1, so I don't think that I should comment on them. But I want to tell you something about vocabulary. Task 2 doesn't ask you to use C2 words all the time. It asks you to use topic-specific words. For instance, if the topic is about environment, then use the words that often come with the topic environment. And bear in mind the topic and the question all the time so that your words match with the topic. In my video about reading, I promised you something. Now, here you go. Look at this. It's a graph, and another 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 graph. Now look at this. Description of a graph, another description of a graph, another description of a graph, and again, description of a graph. Let me read you an extract. So, among non-financial companies listed on the Topics 100 index, records began in 1950s. As you can see, we can learn a lot about describing graphs, and trends just by reading The Economist. That's why I tell you that The Economist is the best magazine for IELTS preparation. You can copy vocabulary, grammar, structures, and even whole sentences. These descriptions are written by native speakers. You can trust them. They know how to describe trends effectively. I think I don't have to talk much about how reading magazines is going to help you in task 2. They include so many diverse topics and are packed with topic-specific vocabulary. It's just like, I just can't explain. It's just mind-blowing. When you regularly consume media in English, it's not just your English, the way of your thinking changes. It's not only about like a language, but also it's about ideas. If you struggle coming up with ideas, that means you've probably read not much. That's why if you have such difficulty and you always get stuck not being able to come up with ideas, increase your exposure of English from all sides. It will definitely help. At this point, I want to stress out the importance of practice. Write as much as you can. Practice writing different types of questions. Make sure that you are not afraid of one type of task. I know people who say, I don't want it to be math. I just wish that it's not a process. You're gonna fail if you have this kind of mentality. You should be ready to any kind of task. Now, I would like to suggest some practical tips. Tip number 1, make a set of different types of questions. Maps, bar charts, graphs, diagrams, discussion essays, problem solution essays, two-part question essays, all the types. Then find reliable, I'm telling you again, reliable source of Band 9 responses. Or you can just try to compose yourself Band 9 essay and get that as a model for yourself. Tip number 2, rewrite your writings. It hugely helps. It's a form of proof writing. You can use some more advanced words, better structure, and overall try to improve your writing. If it comes out being very good, you can add it to your bank of model answers. Tip number 3, try to get feedback from an expert. It's very important. Sometimes you cannot spot your own mistakes. Get somebody to read your essays and give you feedback. It hugely helps. I think it's basically all. My opinion about writing can be a little bit biased. It's just my personal opinion. So that's why it is totally up to you whether you take my advice or not.